gentlemen, to another Combo League podcast. I am your host, Avengers. Alongside us is our co-host, Prophet. Now you're wondering why we're talking so softly. It is late at night. Prophet just woke back up to do this. I'm tired as hell. So, that's what we're... But we are in week 4. Sorry there wasn't a week 3. Had a lot of stuff going on. So, of course, didn't get anything done that I wanted to. But, as always, hope y'all do enjoy this. But, let's get into, of course, week 3 and how the games went in week 3, guys. So our first game we come to in week 3 is, of course, Bang Benji 12, the Rams, and Debo, the Niners. As you can see from just the score, it was a blowout. It was a massacre for Bang Benji, 54-17. We go in. Debo owned everything from rushing yards to passing yards to first downs to no turnovers. Everything. Oh, look at that though. You can tell that it was all in the first half. Nothing was done in the second half. Just everything was in the first. So we go into player stats. We got C.J. Beathard with 412 passing yards and 5 touchdowns, sacked twice, but threw no interceptions. And then we have 2016's first overall pick, Jared Goff, throwing 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, sacked 0 times. Now, do you see this coming from a quarterback who was supposed to be one of the highest quarterbacks, and C.J. Beathard, who's really not known? In rushing, rookie Joe Williams with the most yards with 58 and a touchdown. You even get their fullback involved with 2 rushes for 26 yards. And then 49ers other rookie running back. And then you have Todd Gurley, 3 rushes for 11. You don't really expect this from such a high running back like himself. We go to receiving, rookie Kenny Galladay. I think traded from the Lions, having himself a field day. 7 receptions for 363 yards and 4 touchdowns. That, yeah. Then defensive side of the ball, sacks coming from Alec Ogletree and Aaron Donald. Really not a surprise from Aaron Donald or Alec Ogletree. And then Reuben Foster, Akello Withers, 1, and Zadarius Smith with 1. So these rookies really showing in work for the 49ers this season. Alright. In our second game, a closer game with Ravens and the Jags. You can tell again that the Ravens owned everything except for turnovers, where they both had 3 themselves, but he owned everything else. You have Joe Flacco. Well, it doesn't show. Oh, that's right. It won't show what Blake Bortles did for this team because he just traded Blake Bortles away to the Jets. So it's going to show that he didn't do anything on offensive passing. But Joe Flacco still having himself a day, showing why he should still be counted as a top 10 quarterback. 407 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he was sacked 8 times. Rushing, there was no rushing on either side in total. The receiving, who did the best for receiving? Rashad Perryman and Allen Robinson, the top 2 receivers. Rashad Perryman, one of the fastest receivers in the league. And then you got Allen Robinson, one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league. Got Mike Wallace in there for a touchdown too. Jeremy Maclin, Jacoby Tammy, and Dede Westbrook only having 1 reception, 26 yards, but still getting a touchdown. Yeah. He hasn't really done very well for rushing with Leonard Fournette this season, though. Defensively, we'll see the sacks with Terrell Suggs not having 3 himself, and Dante Fowler Jr. also having 3. Terrell Suggs, he might be old, but he still can get in there. 2 from Miles Jack, 2 from Michael Pierce, 1 from Jalen Merrick, 1 from Brandon Williams, 1 from Juan Smoot, 1 by Bronson Kafusi, and then 1 from Ngaku, whatever. And then the interceptions, C.J. Mosley, Eric Weddle, Tyus Bowser, and Jamal Adams. But I think because the Jets traded Jamal Adams, I think Jamal Adams had a pick from their game and not this. So you can see that Blake Bortles threw 3 interceptions in that game. Was there any defensive touchdowns? We didn't really look on that the last time. Yes. Oh my God. 4 defensive touchdowns. The Jags had 2 on fumbles, and Eric Weddle and C.J. Mosley. Eric Weddle still one of the most prominent safeties in the league. Then we got Denver versus Buffalo. Your boy versus Evan, 35-7. I actually watched this game, and as you can see, there was nothing happening in the first quarter, and actually nothing happened until the second quarter for your boy. It was a crazy game all the way through. Player stats: Chad Kelly, rookie quarterback, absolutely. Him and Tyrod absolutely doing terrible in this game. Each throwing interceptions without a touchdown. Yeah, and this is where your boy actually got his touchdowns from in that. Well, not in the second. The second was 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 pick six. But as you can see, C.J. Anderson actually having himself a game with 12 attempts, 166 yards, 13.8 average, 3 touchdowns, but he did fumble. And then LaShawn McCoy with 18 attempts, 153 yards, 8.5 average, and a touchdown. And Jamal Charles, my boy from Texas, even though he's injury prone, still getting in there for 5 attempts, 86 yards, a 17.2 average, and a touchdown. Oof. I have to say I think your boy got lucky on some of those because if you watch that game, Chad Kelly took some hits that should have been fumbles. As you see, Tyrod Taylor tried doing the same exact thing, but he actually did fumble, and so did Chris Polk. In the receiving game, Virgil Green having the most yards by a long shot. No one else coming even close. And then defensively, this is where we got some of the big things going on with sacks. You got 2 from one of the best pass rushers in Von Miller. 1.5 by Shaq Lawson, 1.5 for Jerry Hughes, 1 by Derek Wolfe, 1 by Shaquille Barrett, 1 by recently acquired Melvin Ingram, and half by Lorenzo Alexander. Yeah. So 3 of the the biggest veteran cornerbacks all having themselves an interception. Yeah. And no, guys, we do not hate on anybody for losing or winning. We say it how the stats look for this week, but anybody can do well in the weeks to come. Next game is Who Dat and Dalmid. Close game, 41-38. Who Dat owned the rushing, but Dalmid owned the passing. It looks like turnovers had a big difference though in that ending. Whew. 240 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Sacked 3 times for Cam Newton. And Drew Brees, veteran quarterback, having 124 yards and 1 interception, sacked once. But then we go. Yeah, but look at that rushing game by veteran running back Adrian Peterson. 28 attempts for 276 yards and 4 touchdowns, having a 9.9 average. But Christian McCaffrey doing well. Rookie Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford, 3 attempts for 86 yards, 28.7 average and a touchdown. Even Shane Witten getting in there for his own 66-yard touchdown. Receiving, who on the Panthers did the best? Kelvin Benjamin. But Greg Olsen had a touchdown, and so did Russell Shepard. Defensively, guys, who had those sacks? Mario Addison, Alec Okafor, Patrick Robinson, and Cameron Jordan. Not really a surprise seeing Cameron Jordan on that list, though. And then our left in. Thomas Davis has been playing very well for the Panthers, which isn't always has. That is right. No defensive touchdowns, and I'm gonna say no safety. So, congrats to the win. Hopefully, everybody does well in their next week to come. We'll skip the Pittsburgh game. Then we go to the Falcons versus the Lions. MP Tiger Pride and Scorpio, 27-10. And yeah, with Matthew Stafford having 292 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, but sacked 4 times. Matt Ryan, 237 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, sacked only once. Was it their completion? Oof. You can tell the difference between completion, 78% and 59%. Rushing the ball, Tevin Coleman being the leading rusher, not by much in average, but more in touchdowns. And then Matthew Stafford leading the Lions for rushing. Yeah. Receiving the ball, who had the yards, Taylor Gabriel. No touchdowns, but he led with the yards. Then you had Marquise Goodwin, Golden Tate, and Eric Ebron. In my opinion, one of the best tight ends in the league, having himself a touchdown, and Tevin Coleman getting in there for a touchdown. Yeah. And then for interceptions, Brian Poole and Eddie Jackson, another rookie, getting in there for an interception. Was there any defensive touchdowns? No, there was not. So it was a close game in total yards, but in actuality for scoring, of course the Falcons won that. Then we got Cleveland versus Indianapolis. Which is which isn't a surprise when it the Browns have such a young team now that they have a ton of chances to evolve around. But Deshaun Kaiser still no touchdowns. 259 yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception, or 1 interception and 1 sack. Andrew Luck, MVP quarterback, with 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 interceptions, sacked 5 times. And then Marlon Mack, 18 attempts for 60 yards. And then there was really nothing there except for Isaiah Crowell and Marlon Mack. And yeah, receiving, Isaiah Crowell leading for receiving yards, and then T.Y. Hilton coming up behind him. Where's the touchdown? Who got the one lone touchdown? Jack Doyle with a 4-yard touchdown. Now let's look at that defense. Oof. And then interceptions, we see Daryl Morris, Calvin Pryor the third, Jabril Peppers, and Jordan Evans. So 2 more rookies contributing. And then on touchdowns, there were no defensive touchdowns. Any safeties, block kicks, none. Yeah, congrats to Ungwe. Good luck with your Week 4 game. Then we go on to Bucky. Oh, cannot give this game though because Blake Deshaun is a new user, so we're gonna skip this game. We come up to Houston versus New England, 38-13. I will have to say though, I watched this game and the Patriots were getting some weird catches and weird interceptions that should not have been there, but he still did win the game. Tom Brady with 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times. Deshaun Watson, 215 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions, only sacked once. With a fumble. A lot of receiving goes to Rob Gronkowski for 103 yards and a touchdown. Chris Hogan got himself a touchdown, and so did Dion Lewis. And defensively, 4 sacks. You have J.J. Watt with 2, one of the leading pass rushers, I have to say, in my opinion. Brian Cushing with 1.5, Coney Ely with 1, and Marcus Gilchrist with half a sack. And then interceptions, you had 3 for Stephon Gilmore, 1 by Bernardrick McKinney, 1 by C.O. Moore, 1 by Dante Hightower, and Eric Rowe. And defensive touchdowns goes to C.O. Moore. So, really, I have to say, while watching that game, good job to the Texans on defense. It's just were very unlucky on offense. But good job to the Patriots for your offense. We got YG Julio, the Dolphins, and String Bean, aka Mama Bear, with the New York Jets. Jets coming out on top. Would you really see this happening though? The Jets coming out on top. Yeah, the Giants. Geno Smith coming out. Oh, here we go with Blake Bortles stats. With 334 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, sacked 7 times. But here we go for real game. Geno Smith for 403 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked 6 times. And Ryan Tannehill, 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked 9 times. Ooh. Hey, Geno Smith even got in there with 2 attempts for 12 yards and a touchdown himself. Didn't fumble either. For receiving, though, Jarvis Landry, which is not a surprise to see at the top of this list, with 116 yards with 4 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Marquise Wilson coming in behind him with Quincy Enunwa and Tyler Gaffney, actually, with Bobby Anderson, too. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Yeah. 4 New York Jets taking the top 5 with only 1 Dolphin player. And then defensively, Leonard Williams with 5 sacks that game. Not a surprise to see, with Leonard Williams becoming one of the most dominant. He's still fairly young, so he has time. We got another rookie again, with Raekwon McMillan with 2 sacks. We got Demario Davis, Darren Lee, Kiko Alonso, Neville Hewitt, Muhammad Wilkerson, and Trevor Riley. Morris Claiborne, half a sack by Anthony Walker Jr., who's another rookie, and half by Koa Misi. A lot of sacks. A lot of sacks. Everybody on the team got a sack. Even the offensive linemen. Whew. Another rookie. Got Tony Lippett and Buster Scrum. 80, yes. How do you get How did you turn around and go negative 80 yards? Oh Lord. Defensive touchdowns we had none. But good job to Mama Bear. Doing very well with the Jets team. Good luck to Julio to get back on his feet. Alright, who we got next? We got DeFuja and J.R. Philly. Like it was there, yeah. You got Eli Manning going 199 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, sacked 3 times. Carson Wentz 176 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 interceptions, sacked 5 times. Carson Wentz was picked up with the number 2 overall pick right behind Jared Goff, and it doesn't look like he's doing very well either. People had such high hopes for these two quarterbacks, and it really looks like they're not doing very well at all. We go to rushing. Paul Perkins, 21 attempts for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Carson Wentz, 1 attempt for 15 yards and a touchdown. LeGarrette Blount really not doing very well after moving from the Patriots to the Eagles. 10 attempts for 20 yards. Evan Ingram actually did very well. Maybe not a touchdown, but he did have 61 yards for a 20.3 average. Jarrell Adams, a 5-yard touchdown. Defensively, let's go sacks. 2 by one of the hardest hitting safeties in the league, Landon Collins. We got 2 by Brandon Graham. 1 for Terrence Brooks. 1 for B.J. Goodson. 1 by Janoris Jenkins and 1 by JPP. Really, a lot of these names don't surprise me. It doesn't look like it. Good job, though, to Ndavucha. Hope good luck to you, JR Philly, in your upcoming weeks. Hopefully, you can land back on your feet also. Bum bum. My offensive line does not like to hold. We know, everybody knows in the league that yes, the Seahawks have one of the most dynamic offense slash defenses, but their biggest fault on offense is, of course, that O line, which is a lot of offensives is because their O line, and it just shows. I didn't- he is a very big part of this team. Yeah. He's always a Delaney Walker, always a contributor to this Titans offense. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oof. We get to nope, nope, nope. The last game on the list because there's one that wasn't played, and then two forces comes. No, that was force. As you can see, it was a force win. It is the real prophet. Since you did mine, I will do yours and ask you questions. Against the one, Cowboys versus Cardinals. We saw them. We saw this game with the first preseason, the Hall of Fame game, pretty much. And we saw the Cowboys come out on top. We come into this, and you had pretty good rushing yards, especially with Zeke out. But the Cardinals still owned on the passing game. Turnovers, you had two less. So let's get into this. Let's see what you did. Dak Prescott, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, and an interception, 2 sacks. Pretty good game. Carson Palmer, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2 sacks. And he even put in rookie Nate Peterman, who only got 63 yards and 2 interceptions. Were they just overthrowing, or what was going on with these interceptions? Like, it looks. Well, we go into the rushing game. We see that you're using your backups very well with Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden, but you're also using Dak's speed himself, where he doesn't have to just sit in the pocket and throw the ball all the time. Fumbling once with him though, see that. But 50 plus yards until you get to Darren McFadden, who had the only touchdown for rushing. But he really didn't. It looks like he really didn't do much except for probably a power back. Yeah. And the receiving game. Chris Johnson, halfback, with Larry Fitzgerald, both being 77 yards. But we get to Jason Witten. Yes, I am a Cowboys fan, but he is one of the most. He really is a great tight end, in my opinion. That's with him being 68 yards and a touchdown. Like, really clutch player on, like, third downs and everything. He's a glory clutch. We go down, we see Jaron Brown with a touchdown, and then Ryan Switzer, rookie. Only 1 for 20, but that was 20 yards for a touchdown. And then we got Terrence Williams and Corey Fuller having touchdowns. Let's go to the defensive side of this ball, where the sacks. 1.5 by Robert Kimdichie, 1 by Stephen Bea, 1 by David Irving, and half by Randy Stark. And then interceptions, we had 2 by Robert Blanton, 1 by Dion Buchanan, 1 by rookie Jordan Lewis, and 1 by another rookie, Chidobe Awuzie. I don't see Anthony Brown. It looks like he really didn't do anything during that game, or was he just not in the game? Oh, he took an injury. He was just out for the game. All right. Well, congrats to both of you. Good work on that win, and of course, DeJuan, good luck in your upcoming weeks. But as always, we always go into the current week, week 4. You ignore the games. The first game on this list is our game of the week. Jay Gold versus Hey Rookie Try Me. The Bears versus the Packers. Packers, one of the most dominant offenses with Aaron Rodgers behind the helm. But the Bears, with getting there with a very young team. Of course, they have Mitch Trubisky now. What are your thoughts on this game? What are you thinking defensively or offensively, or maybe the Bears defense, but the Packers offense, or both on offense? All right. I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the younger team in the Bears. Yeah, they do have that leadership in there, but the Packers defense has always failed them in the most critical of times. And the Bears have such a young team that they could possibly just work really hard during practice and come into this game being a very, very big rivalry game, especially against the Packers, who always, like every year, make the playoffs and try to shut down air. Well, guys, it looks like I was pretty much talking to myself the whole time. Nah, he didn't turn it where he could be heard, guys. Cause
I apologize, guys. I really do. I really do.
you gotta make sure, man. You gotta make sure that's always on. But we're not going back. But we're gonna just talk about this and maybe do another like just quick. But of course, like I said, the young Bears team I think is going to try to sit there and shut down Aaron Rodgers and Martellus Bennett, because of course, like I said, the Packers defense always has had a problem.
I wouldn't be, I actually have a fair confidence in the Packers defense this year. Yes, the Packers actually do have a fairly young defense, at least in the secondary, but I think the gradual improvement from last year's secondary will definitely be a big contributor. And I also think that Ty Montgomery will play a big game in the rushing game.
Yeah, Ty Montgomery moved from wide receiver, very good dual threat, has the speed to run for quite a few yards if you get him that one block, and can catch the ball when needed. But I'm gonna have to, of course, I'm gonna have to say the Bears, and you're saying Packers. So may the best person win. We wish good luck on both Jay Gold and Hey Rookie Try Me. Good luck to both of y'all.
Let's go into the weekly awards.
Weekly awards. We're gonna just go from 1, 2, and 3, and then we'll go from there. Of course, like always, guys, I will try to put the website down in the description. So of course, go check out the website for combo. If you're trying to look at standings and stuff, of course, go look at that. Week 1, Matt Ryan for NFC offense. NFC defense was PJ Williams. AFC offense was Antonio Brown, and AFC defense was Joe Hayden. I guess the biggest name that's really surprising was PJ Williams on there.
Yeah, with 2 sacks, too, at the cornerback position. That's actually pretty good.
Week 2,
Week
Matt
2, we
Ryan
see.
comes back. But Ezekiel Anza for the defense with 7 tackles and 3 sacks and a forced fumble. AFC offense, Tom Brady. And AFC defense with Jabril Peppers, rookie, winning that. 5 tackles, 1 interception, and a touchdown. And week 3, Kenny Golladay and Reuben Foster, both NFC and AFC, from one team wins both offense and defense.
It's actually
49ers
fairly.
and Titans.
That looks like domination by these two teams then for their respective conferences.
But of course, we wish good luck to everybody in this season. Yeah, a lot of people are trying to get into the new groove of playing of Madden 18 because it's kind of different, but at the same time, they're just trying to build a team, or they're trying to just go in hard, and we'll see what happens. But we're just gonna go over injuries real quick. Let's go over Broncos recently losing their left tackle Matt Paradis for 3 weeks. Do you think we spoke to owner your boy about this, and he said he has fairly good confidence in his backup to take over Matt Paradis until he returns.
I believe your boy can make it work. He seems to still be running effectively in the game, and it's seeming to show that he's backing up that he does believe that his backup guard will do good with that.
We keep going. Cardinals with the loss of David Johnson for 6 weeks. Do you think that's going to have a very big impact on the Cardinals losing their most dominant player?
Yeah, that's a pretty big blow. That's a pretty big blow. I think that was actually during my game as well.
We got the Chargers with Melvin Gordon also out 6 weeks. Another dominant running back. It looks like there's just running backs going out.
Dropping like flies.
No one for Chiefs. And then of course we knew about Zeke. He's still out for 3 weeks after, so he'll come back. What is week 4? Like week 7 or 8, he will be back for you.
Yeah. Then we see on the Dolphins Rashad Jones.
Oof.
That's a pretty big injury for that secondary.
Yeah, it is. That secondary, Rashad Jones pretty much is the captain of it.
He's probably the captain of the defense in general too. Jets, we
Jets
see Dennis Pitta still
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 out,
injured as well.
but she looks like she's running very well without him. So Raiders, Alden Smith out for 2 more weeks before he comes back in. I think he can, with Khalil Mack and Mario Edwards Jr. on that rushing, I don't think he's going to have very many problems with Alden Smith being out for now.
Not at all. That was
And
the last injury with Alden Smith.
yeah, it was the last injury, guys. But of course, like I said, if you if you want to talk to us when we're not really paying it, well, not paying. If you want to talk to us when we're offline, and you don't really want to come back and comment after everything, then I suggest hitting us up on Twitter. It's at Madden_podcast. Of course, you'll know it's us because it says A&L live on it. So you go do that. Hit us up
And
on.
we do apologize for the technical difficulties with you guys not being able to hear my voice for like
That is
the first
no.
40 minutes.
I do not apologize for that. That was not my problem. Y'all still heard me the whole time. That is his apology. His
Yeah, I
apology
totally
only.
spaced out.
Oh
Because I
no.
can hear him and he can hear me, so he just automatically thought. And I just woke up, so yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that. But I do apologize for that, guys. Make sure that won't happen again.
But as always, like I said, go look at the website if you really haven't got a chance. Go look at it. It's got pretty much everything and anything on there, from games of the week to uh blanked out. Games of the week to the schedule to past weeks and those games. So like you can go on there in week 2 and you'll see the scores. You'll see who won or lost. You'll see the standings in every division. And come out. We'll see if we can where the stream is for the Packers and the Bears game. Young rookie Mitch Trubisky against veteran Aaron Rodgers. We'll see who wins that. But as always, guys, hit that like button below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. As always, I'm your host, Avengers. Alongside us is our co-host, Prophet.
Alright, guys, we will see you next week for another Combo League podcast.